things. And you can look at your clock and say, wait a minute, we're 10 minutes early. But there's a reason for that. And I'll explain a little bit. Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. We'll start it early today. My name is Gary Stevens. Glad you are with us this morning. We'll have plenty of open line time. And I got some things to talk to you about. After the 10 o'clock news, we'll be open line the rest of the way through. But our first segment, and it is going to be with one break, will be with Alex Doty. He is with the Ottawa County Road Commission. Always a popular topic to talk about roads and some of the issues that you may have. We usually have Alex and one of the board members join us on a quarterly basis. So Alex is on the other side of our Zoom connection this morning, and he'll join us right now. Good morning, Alex. Hope all is well.
Good morning. How are you today?
We are well, and you can join in the conversation. It's early, but we'll do it early at 395-1450, 395-1450. And again, this is about Ottawa County roads. I want to put the caveats about Ottawa County roads. So if you got a problem, say with I-196 near the West Michigan Regional Airport, and basically that's like a, your onboard chiropractor works in that area, I'm afraid. No, Alex can't answer that. That's in Allegan County. And we're working on trying to maybe get somebody from the Allegan County Road Commission or the state to talk about that. So we can't do that. But we can talk about some of the things in Ottawa County that are within the jurisdiction of the Ottawa County Road Commission. First of all, again, a ground rule, Alex, you guys can't really say too much about some of the work that's being done on I-196 or any of the state routes, because that's the state's job. That's what
and that's one of the things we get common calls about is the work that's going on there on the freeways. And as much as we like to see work being invested in the roads, there's not a whole lot that we can do to answer questions about that. So, when that happens, we do direct people to the state. They have a nice website that has a nice map on it with plenty of information. And then, we encourage them to look up the Grand Rapids and Muskegon service centers there where they can provide information about those things.
That's one caveat that we want to bring out, but another caveat, and I'll start a discussion, is dealing with railroad crossings. And this is not a state situation. This is a federal situation where local officials, and Alex Doty, probably you're among them as well, sometimes are frustrated because you got a railroad crossing that needs work, but because of federal law, it can only be done by the railroad company.
Right. That's probably one of the most frequent calls we get, around here is, this railroad crossing is in bad shape. You guys need to fix it. And it seems like it would be an obvious thing that we would take care of because it's in the road. It's something that the road commission would deal with. But, unfortunately, when it comes to the railroad crossings, there's not a whole lot we can do, but, encourage people to reach out to the railroad and let them know that that's an issue for them. In the case of Ottawa County there, typically it's the northern half of the county is covered by Mid-Michigan Railroad, and then the southern half there is CSX. And so those two are the two railroad companies that people would need to reach out for and reach out to, because they're the ones that ultimately will be responsible for taking care of any maintenance or repair to those crossings and making improvements to those. Recently, we've had some improvements take place. One over on, I think one in Zealand and one in Jamestown Township, which were two of the more frequently, asked crossings. I know there's another one there up in Georgetown Township on Port Sheldon that people always call about. But, aside from us kind of, calling the railroad or, you guys calling the railroad and saying this is an issue, we can't go in there and fix that. So, we do understand the frustration there because, we go over those too, and it is rough. So, we just hope people understand that, it's not like we're passing the buck or, just brushing you off. There's really not a whole lot we can do with those.
395-1450. Let's get a call before we take our break. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Hi, I have a question. I wondered when that road is going to be finished, going over the bridge there, Lakewood and River. It is such a pain in the butt.
The intersection, Alex, that was basically redone. That's what you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and answer that, Alex.
Yeah, that project there is I believe that's a Holland Township water project. And so they're looking to have that whole project wrapped up sometime in the middle of October. So about a month or so left on that, but that'll be wrapped up soon, and that'll be a nice relief for people that live over there, because I know that has been, quite a headache with the lane closures and then the road closure for a few weeks. So.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate the call, 395-1450. Let me just amplify one more thing on that, Alex, and then we'll take our break. How much does the Road Commission work with local communities on a project such as we're seeing with Lakewood and River?
That's something that we work with them quite a bit with. Anytime there's work that's within the road right of way, we have to get involved with that just to make sure that things are done to our standards and specifications. So we do have our project team out there to kind of supervise that and make sure all the work that's taking place meets kind of the requirements that we have. And, we try to coordinate as much as possible too with projects, so that, say we're going to repave a road and there's work that needs to be done to put a new sewer line in or a water main in. We try to coordinate that so that we don't have to tear up a new road or, ruin something that we've just done. So it's a lot of coordination and a lot of planning that goes into it. And we try to work with the local community as much as possible.
If you got a question for Alex Doty, he is with the Ottawa County Road Commission. He'll be happy to take it at 395-1450, 395-1450. Before the break, we chatted about the railroad crossing situations, which unfortunately, Alex and the Road Commission are in the same boat we are in, same boat that city officials are in. It's handled by the railroad companies. That's a federal law, which in the case of Mid-Michigan Railroad, which is the northern part of Ottawa County, that might be a little bit easier to handle because they're in the area. But when you're dealing with the Chessie people, and that's down in Tampa, Florida, what do they know about what's going on up here?
Yeah, that's another one of the interesting things, as you get some of the larger companies involved, and it does take some time to get to them and for them to reach out to us about repairs. So, it's sometimes a challenge, and, we just ask people to be patient with those, and, they do eventually get to them, which is good to see. Like I mentioned, before the break there that, they had kind of checked off two that were on the kind of the complaint list that we get from folks. So that's nice to see. And I've personally driven over the one on 48th Avenue there at Chicago Drive, and can attest that you don't have to swerve into the other lane now to go over that crossing. So when they do get to them, they turn out nice. It's just something that we ask people to hopefully know that, we appreciate the concern, but, ultimately it's something that isn't our, obligation or something that we have the ability to take care of. So.
But keep in mind that the voices of the common people, that's us, the little people, but also the government people, even the Road Commission, the old squeaky wheel gets the grease sometimes does help. So the more that we speak up, the more that the county commission speaks up, the Road Commission saying, hey, we got all these people yelling at us, do something about it. Maybe it might stir the glaciers that's coming out of Tampa to do something, especially on the line between Grand Rapids, Holland, and Chicago.
Yeah, that's certainly our hope, is that, the more people sound off about that maybe, hey, they hear that and say, oh, there might be something wrong with that crossing. So, if you see something, definitely, look up their contact info and reach out to the railroad that is in charge. And if you're ever, one fun fact that we like to let people know about is if you ever are, wondering, how do I know what railroad is in charge of this crossing? usually on the back of the crossbuck there at the crossing, there's contact information for that railroad. So usually at the crossing, it'll tell you, which company is in charge of that. So that's an easy way to look that up and find that out.
And the reason why I say that little card is so important is that if there's a vehicle that's stopped there for whatever reason, you call that number and the dispatchers will take care of not the Ottawa County, but the railroad dispatchers will make sure that the engineer on board doesn't have a collision with that vehicle.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah. 395-1450, 395-1450. We have talked about railroads. We also talked about the work that is going on, and hopefully it will be done shortly, hopefully within the next month to 6 weeks at the junction of Lakewood and River on Holland's north side, a water main removal and replacement by Holland Township and the Ottawa County Road Commission working sort of hand in glove in that particular matter to make sure traffic is handled in that situation. A little bit of a pain in the you-know-what, but that's, you want nice roads. You want to be able to have nice water and stuff like that. Yeah, you got to put up with a little bit of a pain in the butt situation as well. But if you got something else for Alex, we have about 15 minutes left in our conversation. 395-1450, 395-1450. Let's talk a little bit about road construction, or in this case, I want to start with road resurfacing. According to my sheet, and I do follow the Ottawa County Road Commission on Facebook as well, Riley Street from 136 to US 31. Resurfacing was scheduled to begin today, weather permitting. You've done other resurfacing projects. You being the road commission have done resurfacing. No, I don't think Alex does it all by himself, folks. But the road commission has done resurfacing of a number of roads and subdivisions as well. Pack your patience because you want nice, smooth roads. Give the crews a chance to mill, make it smooth, and then put that nice new asphalt down.
Yeah, and I did some calculations here before I got on the air, and in Holland, Zeeland, and Park Townships this year, we've done about just under 7 miles of resurfacing on area streets. So that includes Riley Street, which we haven't gotten to yet, Felt Street, which was just completed, and then you got Lakewood Boulevard over there in Park Township. So, it's been quite the season, kind of a hairy season, kind of not sure what we're getting into early on with the pandemic and everything, but, we're quite happy with the work that's been done. And, we hope drivers are too, and notice the new pavement that's been put down. Like you mentioned, Riley Street from US 31 to 136 will be done. I believe now they're looking at starting in the middle of next week with the milling on that. So be on the lookout for some delays as far as traffic goes and everything. With those resurfacing projects, obviously the road isn't closed, it stays open, and, it's all done via, lane closure and traffic control. But we do ask people give themselves some extra time to, get through that because it is kind of a delay. So, look for that. But we're excited. Next week we're thinking they're going to be getting done with the 96th, 92nd, and Perry Streets over in Zeeland, and then that should be it. Once they get Riley done, that should be it for resurfacing for the year. Outside of the work over there on Lakewood and River. So.
Yep. Let's get to the calls. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty from the Road Commission.
Yes, is the Eastmanville crossing or bridge work done?
It's a 68th Avenue area, 68th and Leonard you're talking about.
Yeah, that project is complete. Yep, we got that done, and that bridge is back open, and people can traverse that from Allendale up to Coopersville now.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, appreciate the call. 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Yeah, I got a question for you. They're on 8th Street in Holland and Chicago Drive. We have a left turn lane just for Verhaeg Motors. Can we get that changed over? Because in the 10 years that I've been noticing, I've never seen a car use that left turn lane yet. And change it over to a Fairbanks left turn lane so that when people turn westbound off 8th Street, they're actually making a legal turn instead of crossing over the wrong direction on the road.
Alex?
Yeah, that's something that, our traffic engineer would have to take a look at and make sure that that's something that would need to be looked at, obviously, by our team. And if that was something that they thought feasible, sure, that would be something they could do. But it would have to be addressed and looked at by the traffic engineer and, surveyed and all that before we made any changes.
Because there's a lot of people that make that left turn and run right down the wrong way down that left turn lane for Verhaeg Motors.
Good. Appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450, 395-1450. Before we get to the next call, because of the changes in that particular area, Alex, and most notably the fact that we now have the Holland Energy Park in that area, the engineer is going to have to do some reevaluating, or is that something, well, technically it's sort of part Holland, City of Holland, part Holland Township. If it's City of Holland, it might be a city situation.
Yeah.
If it's in the township, it's your situation.
Yeah, and it does depend, too, exactly where the intersection falls and who's ultimately responsible for that. So that might be another one where, we'd have to look at the map, where that's out at the map and determine that. Because if it is, like you say, if it is within the City of Holland, that would be ultimately their responsibility. Same as, if it were something that were in the City of Zeeland or like that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that might be a jurisdictional thing, but it might be a case where the road commission will have to work with the City of Holland. And again, because of the dynamics of that particular junction, the Eastern Gateway area, 8th, 9th, Fairbanks, Chicago Drive, because of the Holland Energy Park there now, and you still have Verhaeg Motors, you still have people wanting to make the turn onto Fairbanks, getting to the Hope campus, you still have Russ's there. It is, shall we say, and a few years ago, Alex, long ago, and then I'm going to get to the phones, don't worry, there was talk about putting a roundabout there. Ooh, I don't know whether or not that would have been very effective, but we'll see. Let's get to the phones. Good morning, you're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Yeah, I got a question on Riley Street, between 136 to the highway. I thought that was supposed to be done this year.
That should be, and Alex, you can finish up on that. That's supposed to be restarting supposed to be starting this week, but now you're saying it's next week?
Next week, that's going to be done. Yep, they're going to be resurfacing that here starting next week. So that will be done this year.
What about that tracks right there on the corner there? That's real bad in that, on Riley Street, too.
Are you talking about the railroad tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to be fixed with that at the same time?
That would have to be done. The railroad would have to do that. And, ultimately that's not something that we're able to fix as part of that. That's something that CSX would have to take care of on their own.
Okay.
Right,
that's what I was wondering. I was wondering about that because it's supposed to be done this year. That's why I was asking.
All right, appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450, 395-1450. And, of course, railroad crossings has been a popular topic. Let's get back to the phones. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Hello, Alex. I was wondering if there's any effort to preserve local thriving businesses, such as Goog's Pub and Grub, that closed up when all their exits were blocked off.
You're talking about Hastings Avenue, and let me be fair on the situation, Alex. That's a City of Holland situation, isn't that not?
I believe so. Yeah. So we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have anything to do with that either.
Well, and so it seems like when road work is done and they block off businesses, it seems like there should be some recourse for a business to stay open, especially like Goog's after the pandemic closed up and now they're closed for road work. It seems like there's not much planning going on.
Yeah, it's a case of coordination between certain entities. I think that's the point you're trying to make there, caller, right? And,
right.
Yeah. And the Road Commission, I would think, Alex, in that regard, you work hand in glove with some of these municipalities to make sure that, hey, we got to get this done, but we don't want to kill everybody off, kill these businesses off.
Right. Especially when we have, a project going on that's in an area where it might impact a business or, some kind of offices or anything like that. We do work closely with them, before the project to coordinate what's happening. We reach out to them and send letters and have our engineers meet with the interested parties and everything so that they all know what's going on and to let them know the impacts to traffic so that they can reach out to their customers and make sure people know the best ways to get in and out. And then we also, make sure we communicate that with the public as well to let them know that, hey, you can get in here for business purposes, but, otherwise areas might be closed off for typical traffic. So,
And with so many area restaurants closing, it seems like they should be more sensitive to local businesses that are doing well.
Mm-hmm. I think in that particular instance, you talk about the Goog situation, but some other things as well. When we have Keith Van Beek, which is the Holland city manager, and then we talk to sometimes Zeeland's mayor, Kevin Kleinstra, or his city manager, Tim Klunder, that's the point that should be brought up in those particular situations as well, besides Alex and the road commission.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate the call. 395-1450, 395-1450. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Yes, I was wondering when they're going to fix 128th between the Beeline and Riley. It seems like it's awfully narrow if you get some big trucks and cars going through there. That road seems awful narrow at times. I was wondering if anybody ever looked into it and see if the road's the right width or what. But it seems like it's narrow when you get big trucks and stuff, and it's been really busy lately.
Yeah. Alex, by the way, has been, you can't see it because I can see it through our Zoom connection caller, but he was looking at his computer screen on that particular situation.
Yeah, I don't see anything in our 5-year plan for that, but I do know that each year our engineering team does evaluate roads and we look at growth and how things are improving in communities and how development is happening to look at where we should, spend our money and how we should use the resources that we have so that we can make the improvements that we need. So, I imagine that is something that, will be looked at in the future if it's not already, but in the next 5-year plan that we have right now, it's I don't see that on there at this point.
But I think that caller would probably say, "Hey, put that on the idea to maybe look at it as well."
Yeah,
right?
And that's it's important to get public feedback. We certainly rely on that to make the decisions and add things that maybe we're not thinking about. So we do appreciate that feedback from the public and certainly welcome that. That's important to that process.
All right. Appreciate the call. Thank you. 395-1450. Let's get one more call before Alex has to move on his way. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Yes, good morning. I want to talk about the traffic light on the corner of 112th and Chicago Drive by the drugstore over there between Holland and Zeeland. I don't understand why there's turning lanes on 112th and not on, and I'm not turning arrows on the light on 112th, but not on Chicago Drive. If you try to make a turn,
right.
You try to make a turn off of Chicago Drive and go south, and it's people are getting out of work. You sometimes sit there through 2 or 3 lights.
Yeah, that's Lakewood Boulevard because Chicago Drive moves into Lakewood Boulevard in that particular area. I just want to clarify for our listeners in that regard, Alex.
Yeah, that's another one of those things where our traffic engineer, we survey intersections regularly and, we are constantly looking at improvements there. And, if changes are needed based on warranted traffic patterns and volume and whatnot, we will make adjustments to that. It's one of those things where, if we do see changes there that would require that, we'll obviously make switches to it. So it does require a little bit of science, so to speak.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. I'd love to see a change there because it's really annoying trying to make a turn there when the traffic is real heavy and in the afternoon. So
Okay.
anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
I appreciate the call. Thank you for bringing it up. 395-1450. The other thing, too, and keep in mind, and you have to work with the MDOT on this, is you want to have a smooth flow, especially in the spring, summer, and early fall of traffic heading west on Business 196. They make the turn onto 112th, and then they make the sharp left onto Lakewood, heading towards Holland State Park and the beach. You don't want to have traffic backed up onto Business 196. So if they'll make the turn, then they can make a smooth turn onto Lakewood. And that's part of the reason why maybe there is no left turn arrow for Lakewood Boulevard in that regard.
Yeah, I can't speak for the exact situation there because, like I say, I'm not the engineer. I don't have that on, but it is one of those things where there is plenty of science and engineering involved where they do have a list of things that, have to be, in place and required for, different lights and changes. So
let's get one more call. I do have a time. Good morning. You're on the line with Alex Doty of the Road Commission.
Yes, Alex. I'm not sure who's responsible for this, but on the corner of 144th and Edmere in Park Township, as you're trying to get off of Edmere to make a left onto 144th, there is brush is overgrown so bad that you have to stick your nose way out there to see around it. And I don't know if that's the Road Commission's property or if there's
that's something that I can definitely, I just wrote it down here and I can have our supervisors down that way take a look at it and see if that's something that we would take care of and
because
address. We appreciate letting us know.
We had a similar situation over here on Aniline in James, where the brush, and somebody took care of all that last week. So, but this Edmere, especially by Woodside School there, it's going to create quite a hazard, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Appreciate the call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
395-1450. In that situation, maybe the Road Commission is involved, but also in that situation, maybe Park Township needs to do it, and maybe some signs need to be put up about clear view. I've seen those signs in some intersections about making sure you don't park or have that to have the clear view of an intersection. I've seen that when I've done my traveling between here and Saginaw many, many times over the years as well. Alex Doty, we're going to button up our conversation right now. We're coming up to a time when you have to take care of some matters involving the Ottawa County Road Commission. We just want to thank you very much for joining us today on WHTC's Talk of the Town program. Wish you and all of the Board Commission well. And if all goes well, we usually chat about once every quarter, which means we'll probably have another conversation maybe in December, if not after the first of the year.
Yeah. Oh, I imagine I know what we'll be talking about that time. So bundle up.
Bundle up and take care of the plows and make sure let the plows do their job. Alex, thank you very much.
Yep, been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Alex Doty of the Ottawa County Road Commission on Real News Now, 99.7 and 1450 WHTC.